The sun rises over Aztec Ruins National Monument in Aztec, New Mexico. I am here bright and early at 5:30 in the morning to experience the summer solstice as the Ancestral Puebloans did centuries ago. This pueblo, which was an outlier site of the Chaco culture, not the Aztecs, was planned beginning in the 1000s and was largely built in the 12th and 13th centuries. Between the 9th and 12th centuries, they engineered massive structures with deep knowledge of astronomy, mathematics, and landscape. They tracked the movements of the sun, moon, and stars, often building structures to align with key solar events, like solstices and equinoxes. Evidence across the Chacoan sphere of influence shows that they used horizon markers, light and shadow effects, and architectural sightlines to mark the solar calendar. First, we are heading to the back of the Great House structure, as the back wall was intentionally built directly in line with the solstice sunrises and sunsets. I have been here for the winter solstice, where it was clear that the sun set in line with this wall. Now we'll try to see the summer solstice sunrise. The problem is those trees. The sun is already up, however we can't really see how it's positioned in line, but trust me, the Puebloans knew what they were doing. Now let's head over to the real showstopper here at Aztec, in the Great Kiva. This round Great Kiva was the primary religious and meeting hub of the farming village. While the Great Kiva was just ruins like everything else, it was fully reconstructed in the 1930s by the WPA during the New Deal. It makes the Aztec site unique because it is the only ruin in the American Southwest with a fully reconstructed ancient Kiva. What's most significant to note for the solstice are the positioning of the windows of the Great Kiva. The Ancestral Puebloans specifically designed the positioning of the windows to let that first beam of solstice sunlight blaze across the opposite wall. This design was likely used as part of a ceremonial calendar, used to guide agriculture, feasting, and ritual cycles. The effect has already begun. It's like some sort of sacred laser pointer. So I'm going to take a seat and watch this remarkable historic phenomenon unfold. A Navajo musician is playing the flute as it happens. So that was pretty spectacular. I sat in there for about an hour imagining what it was like for people to witness the exact same astronomical event so long ago in the very same space. Now we'll take a little peek around the rest of the ruins. The people who built this village and lived here were part of the Greater Chacoan culture, a society centered in Chaco Canyon, about 55 miles south of here. All the surviving walls here are original and have stood for nearly 800 years. The village may have housed hundreds of people at its peak, and was closely tied to the Chaco Canyon network by trade routes and a road. There is a section of the Great House where we can still walk through several low-hanging rooms. The wooden vigas in the ceiling are original. This place was called Aztec by late 19th century Anglo-American pioneers who settled here. The people who built this village had no connection to the Aztecs of central Mexico, which is very far away. There is only one summer solstice sunrise, so I could only be at one location. However, many of the large puebloan sites around the Four Corners have similar astronomical architecture that signify the longest day of the year. A couple days prior, I went to the Salmon Ruins a little over 10 miles south of Aztec. This is a fellow Chacoan outlier site. I was here for a special evening program on Chacoan archaeoastronomy, which focused on features at Chaco Canyon and here at Salmon Pueblo. Sadly, people are not allowed to view the most significant and unique celestial marker at Chaco Canyon, the Sun Dagger, because it is atop a giant butte and hard to get to. Before we check out the ruin, let's take a look at the Salmon Homestead, which looks quite a bit different from the last time I was here. In the late 1800s, George Salmon and his family built a homestead here, which was one of the first Anglo ranches in the region. The family built a cabin, corral, and outbuildings, living right next to the ancient ruins. This house was the second built by the family and was constructed in 1898, making this one of the oldest surviving houses in this area of New Mexico. The Salmons realized they were homesteading on ancient ruins and aided in efforts for their eventual protection. The homestead and the remains of the carriage house are both covered by a protective shelter now, following in a tradition of great American landmarks being covered, like Mark Twain's birthplace in Missouri and the Casa Grande ruins in Arizona. The wood frame house was constructed out of timber framing. The house does look a bit lopsided in some sections, so they have worked to stabilize the structure, and hopefully this new cover will help it stand for generations to come. We can take a peek inside of their old kitchen. One nice feature of the Salmon Ruins Heritage Park is the trail with some recreated Native American building types. We have entered a pit house. Various forms of pit houses were built by the Ancestral Puebloans at places like Mesa Verde. Even the ancient Fremont and McGeehan cultures were known to have made them. This is a fork stick hogun. And here's a more so traditional Navajo hogun. You can still find these west of Salmon in the Navajo Nation. And now let's head into the Salmon Ruins. I was on a guided walk with the director of the site. There is a prominent solar alignment feature here in room 82. There is a little altar on the floor of this room. From my understanding, the light from the solstice sunrise reflects from those indents in the walls. They were going to demonstrate the effect with a flashlight, however the natural lighting wasn't cooperating to allow that to happen. Salmon was constructed during the height of Chacoan expansion. It served as a major outlier connected to Chaco Canyon by a series of roads. Salmon is especially known for its exceptional Chacoan masonry, the finest north of Chaco Canyon. Builders used a technique called core and veneer, a rubble-filled center, faced with precision-cut sandstone slabs, arranged in decorative patterns. It was meant to show off their engineering skills and is even impressive today. Salmon Pueblo does hold a special place in the history of American archaeology. Following the scientific paradigm shift in anthropology in the 1960s, archaeology in North America began to transform. The field moved from largely descriptive and artifact-focused work to a systematic, hypothesis-driven discipline grounded in the scientific method. Salmon Pueblo became one of the first major, if not the first, archaeological site to be fully excavated under this more scientific new approach. Between 1970 and 1979, archaeologists from Eastern New Mexico University carried out extensive controlled excavations at Salmon Pueblo. These included full-room excavations and in-situ preservation. The research from Salmon Pueblo was so thorough and scientifically rigorous that it became a reference type site for many aspects of Southwestern and North American archaeology. I hope you enjoyed this ancient astronomy experience in the far reaches of northern New Mexico. If you ever visit the area, I would highly recommend taking the time to visit both Aztec and Salmon ruins, even if it's not on Solstice Day. Please take a look at my other videos on historic places, national parks, roadside attractions, and much more in the American West, all over the US and Europe as well. Please click the like button, share this video, and subscribe to my channel for more. Thanks for watching!